Three ways to instantly improve the way you approach women. And the crazy thing is that most people understand it has nothing whatsoever to actually do with the woman. Most people are too busy trying to approach, and we're the only ones in there. I don't approach a woman, I put my bid in. But the reason why people are probably asking right now, why are you saying approach? Because we're not looking at what you're doing when you're interacting with her. Actually looking at how you approach the situation. See, a lot of you guys think the problem is what you say when you go up to the woman first. No. A lot of you guys may figure out it's about timing. If you think that you could come up with the perfect thought, perfect line, and everything like that, you actually think that you would win in all this. But I think the thing that a lot of people just don't understand is that the biggest thing that is stopping you from actually walking up to her and putting your bid in versus the approach is you. Now, gentlemen, if you don't know what the bid is, a bid is a way that a man believes in himself and goes up to a woman and gives her the opportunity versus a lot of you guys out there running behind a woman and actually begging for her time and attention. And how do you know if you're actually begging for her time and attention? Because if you're an individual that sits around and asks for a woman number first, and you already know that you're in a position of a weakness, so to speak. And that's what I'm trying to give you guys out here, a position of strength by actually putting your bid in. People don't understand that when you see a woman and you want to say something to her, what happens when you actually approach that woman, what you're doing is saying that, you know what, you're better than me. What can I do to manipulate your mind, or you give me a shot at you? And we don't do that as men. It's just that the problem for many of you guys is just the stories that you write in your head right here before you even go talk to her. It's the things that you say. And the conversations that you have with yourself also are part of the problem of why you're having the issues with women as well. And see, this isn't about running games or anything like this. This is actually about what's happening in your mind that are killing your chances with women. And some of you guys want to see this. Your chances are always going to be worse if you continue to do the same thing. So allow me to break this down. But before I do, I want to introduce myself. I'm Stephen Dean Williams, guys. I've been doing this for over 3 decades now. And gentlemen, you have a bunch of YouTubes, shorts, and videos and live. If you want to talk to me live, you can always hear me live. We spit game unlike anybody else, where you can call in and we spit off the top of the dome and everything like that. So I just want to say to each one of you guys out here, but let's get into it. Classes in session. See, there are 3 things that happen that really slow you down and stop you and really hurt every chance that you actually have. And what that is, the first one that most of you guys have that many of you guys don't understand, and I like to give you understanding on that, and that is most of you guys, it's not what you say. The thing is, most of you guys out here believe the things that you say to yourself. Most of you guys are obsessed about what to say. And your words really don't matter in all of this. It's really the lock-in. That's why we always talk about one thought, one mind, one way, and the importance of actually locking into who you are as a man. Because if you could take the time to lock into who you are as a man, you are actually going to turn around and change the game for what it is. And a lot of people can't see what they can't see, and a lot of people don't know what they don't know. And that's why I want to break this down, because if you are out there approaching from a standpoint of fear or anxiety, it is always going to carry over, guys. One thing a man cannot do, a man cannot run from who he actually is at the end of the day. And many of you guys, because you don't understand the game and you're not locked into who you are, you're always going to have more of a difficult time with women, because what most you guys think is that in order to be that perfect guy, I've got to say the perfect thing. In order to be the perfect guy, I've got to actually try to impress the woman. And we don't do that as men, not at all. And what I'm saying is, if you approach from that standpoint, you're always going to lose because at the end of the day, you're going to actually try to win her over. And what I want to go in before we even get into the depth of the three, I just want to say to you guys out here, the problem is not an external problem. Again, I will be the first one to tell you, gentlemen, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just the reality that you're in. And as long as you continue to be in the reality that you're in, you're never going to win in the game. And what's important to me is that you guys learn the realities and everything. Well, the thing that has sabotaged you before we even get to the three things are two things. Number one, with sabotaging is the stories that you create before you even go up to her. A lot of people don't understand. We create so many stories in our head about what women are to us. We create so many stories in our head about certain expectations we may have about women, what we want to do with women. And as long as we create those stories in our head, we're never going to be able to walk up to her, talk to her. These are the things that actually slow guys down. But also, it's not just the stories that you write. It's also the conversations that you have with yourself of what kind of man you think you are actually to yourself. And what people don't understand is that these two things are going to be the first phase that is actually going to shape who you are. And really, it really creates the outcome that you're actually going to have as a man. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to get your crayons out and I want you to soak this up. And I want us to go through the three things that are stopping you right now. And let's get into each and every one of these things, okay? Number one, I think one of the biggest problems is that you've got to stop the arguments, not just with yourself. It's really the arguments that you have with fear. Here's what happens, gentlemen. When you see that round body, that nice ass, you just see that woman, you're like, oh my God, man. What most guys don't understand is that excitement comes up, nerves, and everything in between begins to happen. And immediately what happens is, like I said before, your mindset really starts to mess with you by saying, don't screw this up. Say the right thing. Be confident. And so what happens that most you guys will understand is you begin to have a fight with what I call the enemy, the thing in your head, fear, anxiety, and y'all start to argue over the topics. What should I say? How should I say it? And here's the thing that most of you guys don't understand about fear and the lies that you tell yourself, okay, is that fear is always going to have a job to do, and it's always going to draw you into a mental argument with yourself. And it is always going to win with you guys. And the reason why it's going to win is because what fear likes to do is it likes to show you the receipts. Here are the receipts on why you lose. Here are the receipts on why you can't get the woman. Here's the problem that you had. Remember that time you talked to that woman and things didn't work out? Remember that time you tried to get at that woman and she laughed right in your face and things? There's always going to be something. But you know what? Carefully, this is what you guys need to understand when it comes to the game. When it comes to the game, for fear is always going to play a role if you allow it. If you allow the stories to come in your head and say things to you and you allow it to happen, you're always going to have a problem with yourself.
I know.
Hey guys, say everything, listen.
I'm afraid that someone is endeavoring to contact you.
Coordinates.
Shall I get rid of him, or do you want to take the call?
Phone should be.
Thank you, Governor.
See, that's how, hey guys, that's how your phone should ring when somebody's calling you. When somebody's calling you. Hey, we know you are. Anyway, what I'm saying to you guys out here, at the end of the day, the thing about the fear that you have and the anxiety that you have, it's a game in which you'll never win because it's how you see and what you think about yourself. So as long as you think about yourself that way, man, you're not really going to win this thing. 12. When you have these conversations with fear, okay, it starts to bring up all the receipts, man. It brings up all the past trauma, all the mistakes that you have made, and what is happening to you guys. You're trying to go up to this woman and you're arguing with the voice in your head. And if you notice, that voice gets louder and it just doesn't shut up. And it's crazy how it happens, but we have to stop fighting the fear and just walk with it. We have to stop arguing with the fear and let him just keep running his mouth. Treat fear like it is a passenger in your car. okay? Not a director or someone that can tell you what to say and what to do. I don't want you guys to look at fear that way because as long as you look at fear that way, you're never actually going to believe in yourself, okay? Just treat it the way that it just doesn't have any importance to you. And when you have one thought, one mind, one way, and you get this game down, I'm never going to try to eliminate the voice in my head. I accept it for what it is, but I know it's just words. It's just words. It's just phrases. It's thoughts and everything in between. We've got to see it for what it is, not for what we think it actually is. So what we have to do is we have to stop trying to learn something, okay? Getting back to the next one, but what I'm saying is that stop worrying about the voice. And if we can stop worrying about the voice in our head and stop beating ourselves up, we got a better chance of winning in this when you go to the woman. And remember, gentlemen, all this stuff happens before you even start talking to the woman. And that is what is really crazy about what I'm talking about. Let's move to number two. Number two, what we have to do is we have to learn. See, stop trying to learn something and take the time and learn who you are and start trying and not trying, but to begin the process of discovering something. See, a lot of guys out there are always going to look at this in the wrong manner because they're actually not gaming this out the right way. You've got to game this out the right way. I always stress the importance of gaming it out because if you don't game it out the right way, it's not going to happen for you. But what's happening is that most of you guys are trying to show her how funny you are, how smart you are, and how confident you are. And you don't even need to do that. That comes from a thought process of somebody who really doesn't know himself and somebody, and you don't understand what you're telling her or you don't understand what you're actually putting out there to that woman. And what you're saying to the woman, and you don't even realize this, you're the one saying that I need your okay to accept me because at the end of the day, I will never accept myself. And that's not how men move in this game. Never go up to a woman trying to actually prove who you are. It's never going to help you win in this game, okay? Because what you're doing is that you're too busy trying to sell something to her. And I don't want you to sell anything. I want you to offer something to her, but I don't want you to sell it, okay? Because if you sound like a snake oil salesman, it is actually going to turn her off. And what makes her accept you, makes her smile and laugh and blush and everything, is that when you stop looking at her the way you guys do, and that's why I always want to tell you, we want to change your concepts and your perceptions, okay? When you start looking at and talking to yourself like what I'm about to tell you before you even go up to her, and you stop asking the questions, am I enough for her? And you start asking the question, is she enough for me and my dick? Is she worthy of my dick? Is she worthy of my time? Is she worthy of my attention? Guys, it flips everything. I'm just saying. And next time you see a woman, just try it. Next time you look at a woman, before you even say anything, talk to yourself and say, is she worthy of my dick? And just go over there and talk to her. I'm telling you, it is going to change a perspective, but it's not going to make the shift. But it should begin the process of changing your perspective. Because the thing about the bid at the end of the day, it is always about something stronger, greater, and deeper, and that's you. It is not about sex. It's not about approaching. This is to see if you're worthy of anything. I need to know if you're actually worthy of me. Number three, gentlemen, we have to go before we even go up to the woman to not even begin the approach. We got to approach and go up blindly, okay? Gentlemen, people are never going to tell you this, but your eyes are always going to lie and deceive you. So before you even say a word, you're already going to deceive yourself, okay? Because your eyes are going to tell you 10 different things, 10 different times, based on if you see her ass or you see her titties. If it's going to change everything up. So what I'm saying to you guys out here, the eyes are going to lie by telling you, man, she's too sexy. She's too beautiful. She's not the kind of woman I can get. She'll never like a person like me. You start to create judgments through your eyesight. And what I'm saying for all you guys, listen, gentlemen, listen, please. For every lie that you see through your eyes, okay, it actually becomes a reason not to move on. What we've got to start doing is training ourselves not to look at an interpretation of what we think a woman actually is and start looking at the interpretation of who we are as men. But see, as I say, when I put in my bid, I'm not locking into what she thinks she is or what she wants. I'm not even looking at that at all. But when you stop looking at her body and everything like that, and you start focusing on who you are as a man, you have to understand that's one thought, one mind, one way. I'm never going to let her body or her appearance and the way she looks dictate how I think, how I move, and what I say. I am not, okay? I'm never going to ask, is she worthy? What can I do to be worthy of her and her time? No. I need to know if she is worthy of me. That's how I think, and that's how I'm going to try to get you guys to understand this. And if you can start to see the differences between those things right here, you will understand that you guys will always have two different stories in your head based on the arguments you have with yourself, stories, and what you see right here. Those are going to be the problems. You're gonna wonder and worry about if she likes me, if I mess up, and all this other stuff. Too many stories in your head. What do I always tell you? I don't want you to like me. I don't want to be a friend. I don't want your attraction. I don't want your love. I don't even want your coochie. I want to conquer you. That's it. I want to be an addiction and I want to be a habit. I want to be the thing that you wake up in the morning thinking about. And when you go to bed at night, you dream of me before you close your eyes. You daydream. That's what I want. That's the kind of conquering that I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about dominating a woman in a bad way. I'm saying that I'm the prize. This is how I operate, and this is what I actually want. And when we think and move that way, everything changes. We are at a stop sign. So what I'm saying to you guys out here, it is not about trying to take over. It's not about telling her what to say. It's not about telling her what to do. I want to conquer in every aspect of the game. And until I can conquer in every aspect of the game, or really conquer my fears first, which I've done, I know that I can win. And I know you guys can too. So what I'm saying is it's not about chasing a woman. And this is not about submitting to her as well. I don't want you to do either one. I think those things are crazy. I don't want you to do any of that because I believe in you guys. And I want you to believe in yourself and actually the power of the bid, okay? At the end of the day, this is not about please accept me or allow me to be a part of your life, okay? No, this is ring the doorbell and let me know if you're worth my time, okay? So at the end of the day, gentlemen, the biggest lie that you have been sold is all about these tactics, your looks, your timing, your money, and your status, and all this other stuff. It's always been an internal battle that's been going in your head. And it's the battle about the guy who actually controls his outcomes and his mindset and his mentality versus the guy that lives in a moment of despair and living in his past. Question is, where do you want to do and where do you want to go? Because if you want to be better with this thing, you have to be better with yourself, okay? Once you realize I don't need better words and pickups and gimmicks and clothes and all this other stuff, then you have to learn and craft how you talk to a woman. As I say for you guys out here, this most simplest bid that I give you guys, and I'll give it to you right now real quick before we end this, is number one. When you walk up to a woman, I know I'm interrupting her world. So the first thing I'm going to say is excuse me, because excuse me means that I'm interrupting you, which is true. And then I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Steve. And I'll move to step two. Then I'm going to say, and yours. Get her name. And once I get her name, I'm going to tell her the reason why I came over here is because I want to take you out sometime, or the reason why I came over here is I want to take you out on a date. And then step three for you guys, call me. And that's it. I'm always going to be dominant, and I'm always going to tell a woman what to do. And even if a woman says, I don't take numbers from anybody, I'm going to say, then let me get your number. I'm always going to tell them what to do. But I am not going to look at the outcome. I'm not outcome dependent. I'm me dependent. So as long as you depend on yourself and realize that you have the power, it's easy. Now the bid is much deeper when you become a student of the game and learn your pathway, which guys, you can get your pathway by going to themanmindset.com. Not the man mindset. Y'all can just email me, themanmindset@gmail.com. Email me and ask for your pathway if you're ready to start to become a student of the game. But Other than that, I want to give you something that's easy and simple to do, that's not really hard in those three simple steps. And if you can do those three simple steps, you're going to start to begin to shift how you think about yourself, because then you'll be focused more on the steps that you have to take versus the person you're putting the steps on. So, guys, please remember that. And always remember this is the end of our video, but not the end of our conversation. Gentlemen, if you like this and enjoy this, I hope that you subscribe or share it with your friends. That I do want to say I appreciate each and every one of you guys out there. I ask that you appreciate yourself, and we'll definitely talk to you soon. But remember, at the end of the day, it is the communication that you have that you approach before you approach. And once you change that communication, you'll stop approaching. You'll start to put your mid in. We'll talk to you guys soon.